Simulan mong abutin ang iyong pangarap na magbibigay dangal sa iyong bukas. Ang suliranin hindi laging nandyan, dapat mong harapin. Kami iyong kasama sa bawat takin, magkaakbay nating lulutasin. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Ang mga aral ay ginintuang atin ng bawat guro na siyang gagabay sa iyong pagkamulat. Naway umukit ito sa iyong isipan, maging mapanuri, sundin ng wasto at nararapat. Kagandahang asal ang ipakita, ipadama ang pusong may malasakit. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Sakali mang tayo'y subukin ng unos, ating haharapin ng walang takot. Sasamahan ka ni Fernan at Dino, ang bagong barkada mo. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, edukasyon mo'y sigurado na. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, edukasyon mo'y sigurado na.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Good morning, City of San Fernando. Good morning, Fernandino Teens. Today is another great day of learning. Learning new things that may help us to answer those questions coming into our mind each day. So just stay there and join me as we have an amazing discussion. I am Ma'am Eleanor Deang, your science teacher for today. Before we start our discussion, I just want to ask, how are you? How about your studies? Kindly comment below and let us know how you are doing, our Fernandino Teens. You may also express your thoughts by using emoticons. The way I see it, your feelings and emotions are mixed. They are different with each other. I hope that among these different feelings and emotions, there is a high percentage of happiness and positivity despite the challenges we face in our learning modality. Wow, we are glad that most of you are doing well. And for those who still find these things quite hard, do not worry. We will be with you. We are one as we face this new normal. You are not alone. Don't be sad. Instead, be motivated and do more for your studies. I mentioned a while ago the word percentage. I know that this word is not new to you, and so let me refresh you on its definition. In mathematics, percentage is a number or ratio expressed as a fraction of 100. It is often denoted using a percent sign. As we see the update of vaccination report every day, the City Information Office of the City of San Fernando, Pampanga, reports the percentage or rate of fully vaccinated Fernandinos and Fernandinos vaccinated with first dose. In their official Facebook page, CSFP-CIO posted that as of November 25, 2021, we already gained 67.6% for fully vaccinated Fernandinos. It means that out of the CSFP eligible population for vaccination of 242,102, 163,592 Fernandinos got already their 2 doses of vaccine. So, what does percent mean? Percent indicates parts per 100. In the laboratory, you may perform experiments that will require you to prepare solutions or to verify the purity of some substances. If you are asked to prepare a 10% salt solution, you dissolve 10 grams of salt in 90 grams of water to make 100 grams salt solution. Thus, you need to know how to calculate the percent compositions of compounds. Remember your lesson on percent by volume and percent by mass in grade 7? In that particular lesson, you have expressed concentrations of solutions quantitatively by dividing the volume or mass of the solute over the volume or mass of the solution times 100. In that lesson, you had first-hand idea on using percentage already, which will be our topic for today. For today's discussion, we will have one of the most interesting lessons in chemistry, the percent composition. So kindly get your self-learning modules, paper and pen, and copy of your periodic table as we have a discussion full of learning and fun in this episode entitled Chemical Present Computation, Its Percent Composition. So, here are the learning objectives of today's episode. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to, first, analyze the concept of formula mass, molecular mass, and molar mass. Second, solve percent composition of each element in a compound. Lastly, recognize the important role of percent composition in our daily lives. Before we continue this lesson, let us have a quick review first about your previous lesson, the bands of atoms or the chemical band. In that lesson, you were able to explain how ions are formed, form ionic and covalent bonds between elements, and classify the covalent compounds as polar and nonpolar covalent bonds. In the episode entitled My Name is Band, Chemical Band by Sir Arnel Gomez, he comprehensively tackled how atoms combined with other atoms by transferring or by sharing of electrons. I hope these things are all now clear to you. And now, to help you understand our new lesson better, let us unlock some difficult terms through the Add That Picks, Guess the Phrase game. I will show 2 pictures, and you need to guess the word that corresponds each picture. Combine the 2 words which are twisted to unlock our mystery chemistry word. You may write your answer on a sheet of paper or type your answer in the comment box below. Are you ready, Fernandino teens? Let us start. Chemistry word number 1. Very good. The answer is formula mass. Formula mass is the sum of the atomic masses of each atom in a chemical formula. This term is used for ionic compounds like sodium chloride. Chemistry word number 2. You are correct. The answer is molecular mass. Molecular mass is the sum of the atomic masses of atoms in a molecule, like carbon dioxide and sucrose or table sugar, C12H22O11. However, the term molecular mass is usually used for both ionic and covalent compounds? Chemistry word number 3. Amazing! The answer is percent composition. Percent composition is the mass percentage of each type of atom or element present in a compound multiplied by 100. What a great job, Fernandino teens! Now, tap your shoulder and say, "Nice one, self, you are doing well." Later, we will discuss all these words along with other chemistry terms to know more about percent composition. We will go deeper into our lesson when Fernandino Teens TV Season 2 returns. So stay tuned and get ready. As we go back, we will explore the marvelous world of chemistry.
Ang Schools Division Office City of San Fernando, Pampanga ay kaisa ng Department of Education sa pagsasagawa ng mga proyekto at programa na tumutugon sa mga pangangailangan ng mga mag-aaral. Inilunsad ang Division Call Center for Tutors and Guidance Counselors upang magbigay ng educational at psychological assistance sa mga mag-aaral, magulang at stakeholders ng division. Kaya, kung may nais kayong itanong tungkol sa pag-aaral, maaaring magpadala ng mensahe sa Division Call Center for Tutors and Guidance Counselors Facebook page o tumawag sa mga numero na makikita sa ibaba ng inyong screen tuwing Lunes hanggang Biyernes sa ganap na alas 8 ng umaga hanggang alas 6 ng gabi. Maaari rin kayong sumangguni sa ating guidance counselors na nagbibigay ng guidance and counseling services. Lahat ng inyong ibabahagi ay mananatiling confidential. Ang nasabing programa ay nagsisilbing daan upang malaman ang feedbacks ng stakeholders para matulungan ang ating divisyon na mapagbuti pa ang mga sumusunod na programa. Ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Tumawag na sa aming mga numero o bumisita na sa aming Facebook page at magpadala ng inyong mga katanungan.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back, Fernandino teens. Let us continue our meaningful discussion. In real-life situations, pieces of matter are quantified by finding the mass or by counting. Specifically, the mass of a substance can be measured using formula mass, molecular mass, and molar mass. These terms differ from one another, so let's compare and contrast by having their definition. The formula mass is the total atomic mass of all the atoms or ions present in a formula unit, which is expressed in atomic mass unit or AMU. On the other hand, molecular mass is the mass of all the atoms in a molecule, which is also expressed in atomic mass unit or AMU. Moreover, molar mass is the mass of 1 mole of the substance, atoms, molecules, formula units, which is expressed in gram per mole. The diagram presented compares the three. As seen in the diagram, the three quantities are same in terms of numerical value. The three quantities differ in units of measurement. Formula mass and molecular mass are expressed in atomic mass unit or AMU, while molar mass is usually expressed in grams per mole. Formula mass and molecular mass are both masses of atoms. However, in the formula mass, we consider elements or ionic compounds, while we focus in molecules or covalent compounds for molecular mass. Lastly, molar mass quantifies mass of a mole of a substance, atoms, molecules, and ionic compounds. For you to better understand this, let us have the following examples. Carbon dioxide or CO2, for example, is a molecule with 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms. As seen in the periodic table, carbon has 12 atomic mass units, while oxygen has 16 AMU. its molecular mass would be 44 AMU. This is the sum of the atomic masses of the elements present multiplied to the respective number of atoms of each element in a molecule as illustrated in the screen. Its molar mass would be 44 grams per mole. As you observed, we have the same value for molecular mass and molar mass. Why do you think? Very good. It is because, generally, a mole of a substance is equal to the mass of the atoms in a molecule. This means that the total mass of the substance in 1 mole is always equal to that substance's molecular mass expressed in atomic mass units. Since we have the same numerical value with its molecular mass, the same solution is seen for the computation of the molar mass. Some more. Sodium chloride or NaCl, on the other hand, is an ionic compound with 1 sodium ion and 1 chlorine ion. As seen in the periodic table, sodium has 23 atomic mass units while Cl has 35 AMU. To get the formula mass, we add the atomic masses of the ion or element present multiplied by the number of atoms of each element as illustrated on the screen. Its formula mass would be 58 AMU. Therefore, its molar mass would also be 58 gram per mole with same computation. For our lesson on percent composition, knowing the molar mass of the compound is a must and part of the computation. To help you learn more how to get molar mass, let me show you the step-by-step procedure to determine the molar mass of the compound. Get your writing materials, periodic table of elements, and calculators, and join me in computing for the molar mass of the compound. I'll give you a minute to prepare your materials. Are your materials ready? Let us start. For example, let's compute the molar mass of ferrous sulfate or FeSO4. This compound is used to treat iron deficiency anemia. Step 1. Look up for the atomic masses of the elements present in the compound using the periodic table. For the given compound, you have the elements iron, sulfur, and oxygen. As seen in the periodic table, iron has an atomic mass of 56, sulfur has 32, and oxygen has 16. If you are using a periodic table in which the atomic masses have decimal values, you may round off them into whole numbers. Step 2. Determine the number for each atom. In the compound, we have 1 atom for iron, 1 for sulfur, and 4 for oxygen. Step 3. Multiply the number for each atom with their respective atomic masses, and list their respective products as shown on the screen. Step 4. Add all the products of the atomic masses of each atom. The sum of the products expressed in gram per mole is the molar mass of the compound. Therefore, the molar mass of ferrous sulfate is 152 gram per mole. In some cases, we encounter compounds written with parentheses. Parentheses or round brackets are the symbols used in pairs to group things together. In determining molar masses of compounds with parentheses, we consider the subscripts written right after the closing parentheses. Subscripts outside a parenthesis will be multiplied to all the number of atoms inside the parenthesis. It should not be multiplied with the subscripts of elements outside the parenthesis. To better understand this, let us have an example. What is the molar mass of aluminum nitrate, AlNO33, which is used as part of the tanning process by leather producers? As you can see, this compound has parentheses. To solve for the molar mass of this compound, distribute the subscript outside the parentheses to all the elements inside the parentheses. So, in aluminum nitrate, we will distribute 3 to oxygen and nitrogen by multiplying 3 to the number of atoms per element inside the parentheses. In the formula, there is only 1 atom of aluminum, 3 atoms of nitrogen, and 9 atoms of oxygen. In our computation, the molar mass of aluminum nitrate is 213 grams per mole. Did you get the same? Since you already know how to compute the molar mass, let us have an activity. You may write your answer on a sheet of paper. Are you ready, Fernandino teens? First, compute the molar mass of sucrose, also known as table sugar, C12H22O11. In this compound, the elements present are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. I'll give time for you to compute. Nice going, Fernandino teens. Here is the answer for this exercise. The molar mass of sucrose or table sugar is 342 grams per mole. Did you get the same value? Great work. Let us proceed with the next one. Number 2, calculate the molar mass of ethyl alcohol, C2H5OH, which is the main ingredient for disinfectant against COVID-19 virus. In the given compound, the following elements are present: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Are you ready? Then go. I hope you got the same answer. Based on the computation, the molar mass of ethanol is 46 grams per mole. Let us have the last one. Number 3, solve the molar mass of urea, NH2,2CO, which is used in making fertilizers. In the given compound, the following elements are present: nitrogen and hydrogen enclosed in parentheses, and carbon and oxygen outside the parentheses. Make sure that you apply our rules for compounds with parentheses. Are you ready? Go, Fernandino teens! Here is the answer for this exercise. The molar mass of urea is 16 grams per mole. If we have the same answers, it's time to tap your shoulder again and say, "Excellent! You are really good, self." So, we are done with the first part of our discussion, solving formula mass, molecular mass, or molar mass. Your knowledge in this part of the lesson will be applied for the next part, solving percent composition. Isn't it amazing that you already learned a lot today in the interesting world of chemistry? If you are having fun, just hold your emotion. We will continue this discussion full of learning and fun as we continue here at Fernandino Teens TV Season 2. Stay tuned!
Maya po oras kaya kayo, Fernandinos. Ako pala ay Eleanor ng City Tourism Office ng Siyudad San Fernando. Ngayong bulan na ini, pagmasusyan tayo ang National Heritage Month na ating temang Victory and Humanity, Upholding Filipino Heritage and Identity. Kambena nini, metong karang aktibidades na ng syudad, apin ning launching ning bayong Heritage Passport. Yung Heritage Passport, apin ning metong karing proyekto ning kaya kataamong syudad, yung pamanamuna ng Mayor Edwin D. Santiago. Anong nuka rin makalagelangan ding eganagan ng heritage sites, heritage structures, na akit tamo king kay katamong heritage district. Makakayado din kini, ding importansya da ding mapila na tradisyon, kini syudad, kalupa na ning pamangawang parol, ang poing pamangalesa. May aho siyang heritage passport, uling atin kang dapat gawan, anong nukaran puntalan mo lading at yung passport, at saka ka mag-selfie. Kay ba't kanta, palto making tourism office, at mamiyalang sticker ka rin egan-agan ang apuntulan mong lugar. At timong may ngari ang tutong passport. Balo mi ngeni, panahon na ini, tamo makain bisa lumal, uli na ng COVID-19 pandemic. Kaya naman kimbanwa nga ini, agkatan ko ding bikers tamo, edad 18 hanggang 50, imbis na lumaot kayo po, di na nyo lang dita ka oras, di kaya katamong heritage structures, kaya ni syudad. Anya naman ka rin mumunang 50 bikers ang makayari kaya katamong heritage passport, may dinan lang premium only San Fernando loot bag. Inggawan nyo mo bakit ta makapag-register, unta kayo mismo opisina na ng City Tourism, ng munisipyo, at saka kayo magdalang metong valid ID. Kabinan kaya kayong heritage passport, ating makasipit ang instruction nung nano pa ing dapat gawan. Anya naman ka rin hanggang kapadyakin, nanano ko pa, tara na!
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back, Fernandino teens. A while ago, we discussed about the formula mass, molecular mass, and molar mass. We learned how to solve the formula mass, molecular mass, or molar mass of a compound following the steps I presented previously. Before I continue our discussion, I would like to ask you again, how are you right now? How is our discussion? Are you feeling better than before we start? If yes, kindly comment down a heart emoticon. Are you interested to know how much of an element is present in a compound? You can answer this question by determining percentage composition. So, to elaborate our lesson in a practical way, let's consider this situation. Suppose you are taking an exam and you got 100% remarks on your test result. What does this 100 mean? Nice! It means that you got all items correct, making your score perfect. You may have gotten 20 over 20 or 50 over 50. The 100% is called the percentage score. If you want to get your percentage score in an exam, you simply divide your score over the total number of items and multiply it by 100. For example, we have 50 over 50 times 100 equals 100%. This example is adhering to the definition of percentage as we mentioned earlier. To give another example, let us watch this video. Hi everyone, I'm Ma'am Eleanor, and at this moment, we will perform a simple yet very interesting and enjoyable experiment entitled Counting Nuts, Solving for Percentage. Before we start, we will be needing the following materials for this activity. First is any brand of a mixed nuts, plate or tray, ball pen, and lastly, this worksheet. To better understand on how this experiment will be performed, let me initially explain the instructions of the experiment as well as on how the worksheet will be used. Reminder, if you are about to perform this experiment, make sure that you sanitize your hands and all the materials that will be utilized. To start, empty the contents of 1 pack of mixed nuts in a clean tray and start to separate the individual ingredients according to its kind.
Afterwards, use the worksheet and list the type of sorted ingredients. Next, we need to count the number of individual bits of each listed ingredient. Record the data in the worksheet. To get the percentage of each ingredient, let us consider using this equation. Percent of individual ingredient is equal to number of each ingredient all over the total number of ingredients multiplied by 100. The following are the ingredients: peanuts, cornix, green peas, coated nuts, and flat beans. For the number of pieces, there are 33 pieces peanuts, 80 pieces cornix, 74 pieces green peas, 42 pieces coated nuts, and 12 pieces flat beans, for a total of 241 pieces. The computed percentages are 13.69% peanuts, 33.20% cornix, 30.71% green peas, 17.43% coated nuts, and 4.98% flat beans, for a total of 100%. Let us answer these key questions from the experiment. Key question number 1. Which of the ingredients has the highest percent? Correct. The cornix has the highest percent since it has the most number of individual pieces of ingredients. Key question number 2. Which of the ingredients has the lowest percent? Very good. Among the 5 ingredients, flat beans has the lowest percentage simply because it has the least number of individual pieces. Lastly, do you think the computed percentage for each ingredient is accurate if the total exceeds 100%? Amazing! The total percent of all the ingredients must be equal to 100%. If it exceeds this figure, it means that something went wrong during our computation. However, if the total percentage falls within 99.99% to 100.01%, the answer is still acceptable. Did you enjoy our simple experiment? Great! Hopefully, this presentation gave you a clearer idea on how to solve for percent. Until next time,
we previously defined percent as parts per 100. Applying the concept in science, for example, if a compound contains 25 grams of chlorine in 100 grams of compound, the substance contains 25% chlorine by mass. Percent composition is the mass of each element in a compound divided by the total mass of a given compound multiplied by 100. So, the percentage composition of a compound tells you the percentage of the mass made up by each element in a compound. Here is the formula in computing for the percent composition. Percent composition is equal to mass of the element divided by the molar mass of the compound times 100%. From the given formula, you can get the percentage composition by knowing the following quantities. First, identify the elements present in the compounds. Second, the atomic mass of each element. Third, the number of atoms of each element. And lastly, the molar mass. At this point, let us have the step-by-step procedures in solving percentage composition. First, compute the molar mass of the compound. Second, divide the total atomic mass of each element by the molar mass of the compound. Then, multiply its quotient by 100. Your previous knowledge of atomic masses of elements and molar mass will be used in this type of calculation. For our first example, COVID-19 vaccines are effective and can reduce the risk of getting and spreading the virus that causes COVID-19. A vaccine is a substance used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provides immunity against one or several diseases, prepared from the causative agent of a disease, its products, or a synthetic substitute treated to act as an antigen without inducing the disease. As well as the active components, vaccine contains several substances. Vaccines need to be storable, so stabilizers are added to ensure the virus components remain stable and effective. A variety of different stabilizers are used, either in organic magnesium salts such as magnesium sulfate or magnesium chloride, or mixtures of lactose, sorbitol, and gelatin. Solve the molar mass and percent composition of magnesium sulfate, MgSO4, a stabilizer component of a vaccine. Get ready your calculators, periodic table, and writing materials once again. So let us start with step 1 by computing the molar mass of the compound magnesium sulfate or MgSO4. In the given compound, the following elements are present: 1 atom of magnesium, 1 atom of sulfur, and 4 atoms of oxygen. Look at the periodic table for their atomic masses. Magnesium has 24, sulfur has 32, and oxygen has 16 respectively. Step 1. Calculate the molar mass of magnesium sulfate. Adding all the products of atomic masses and number of atoms per moles, the molar mass of magnesium sulfate is 120 gram per mole. Now, we will look for the percentage of each element by dividing the atomic mass of each element, magnesium, sulfur, and oxygen, to the molar mass of the compound magnesium sulfate or MgSO4, and then multiply its quotient by 100. Step 2. Divide the total atomic mass of elements of magnesium, sulfur, and oxygen by the molar mass of the compound magnesium sulfate or MgSO4. Then multiply its quotient by 100%. For magnesium, divide its total atomic mass, which is 24 grams, to the molar mass of the compound, which is 120 grams. Then multiply the quotient by 100%. Write them using 2 decimal places. Observe cancellation of units. Therefore, the percent composition of magnesium in magnesium sulfate is 20%. Same with sulfur. Divide its total atomic mass, which is 32 grams, to the molar mass of the compound, then multiply by 100%. Again, observe cancellation of units. Did you get the same answer? The percent composition of sulfur is 26.67%. Lastly, let's compute for the percent composition of oxygen, applying the same steps. Nice going, Fernandino teens! The percent composition of oxygen is 53.33%. To check if your computations are correct, let's add together all the percentages we got for each element in the compound. We add 20% amount of magnesium, 26.67% sulfur, and 53.33% of oxygen. Your computations can be correct if you get 100% in total. In some cases, you may get 99.99% or 100.01% since we rounded off the values of the percentage obtained. For our example, the total percentage is 100%. Have you got the same total? Very good. Now, let us have another example. Try to solve it by yourself. Potassium permanganate, or KMNO4, is a versatile oxidant used to treat drinking water, wastewater, industrial process chemicals, plus numerous other applications. What is the percent composition of potassium permanganate, or KMNO4? Now, let us check if your answers are correct. Let us solve for the percent composition of potassium permanganate, or KMNO4. This time, I'm rooting for more participation from you. With our given compound, what is the first step in computing for the percent composition, Fernandino teens? Amazing, Fernandino teens. Step 1, calculate the molar mass of potassium permanganate. As seen in the chemical formula, the elements present in corresponding number of atoms are 1 atom for potassium, 1 atom for manganese, and 4 atoms for the element oxygen. In the periodic table, potassium has an atomic mass of 39 grams, manganese has 55 grams, and oxygen has 16 grams. I'll give you time to solve for it. If you get a molar mass of 158 grams per mole for potassium permanganate, you're on the right track. Now, let us solve for the percent composition of each element. Let me ask you again, what would be the second step in solving for the percent composition, Fernandino teens? Amazing, Fernandino teens. Step 2, we divide the total atomic mass of elements, potassium, manganese, and oxygen by the molar mass of the compound potassium permanganate. Multiply their quotients by 100. The percent composition of potassium in the compound potassium permanganate is... Wow, you got it right. It's 24.68%. For manganese, the percent composition is... You're doing great. It's 34.81%. And the percent composition of oxygen is... Superb. It's 40.51%. For the final step, add all the percentages of each element together to have a total of 100%. If you have the same answers, it's time to tap your shoulder and say, "Job well done, self." Wow, Fernandino teens. No doubt that someday you will be all a master chemist. But for now, let's have a short break. Stay tuned in Fernandino Teens TV Season 2.
Hindi lamang sa larangan ng pangkabuhayan apektado ang maraming pamilyang Pilipino, kundi maging sa larangan ng pagkatuto ng bawat batang Pilipino. Inilunsad ng siyudad ng San Fernando ang programang Nurturing Environment and System for Thriving or NEST, isang education community pantry na naglalayon para sa isang malawakang pagtulong, pagtantabay at paggabay na ang focus ay ang makapagbigay ng tulong at suporta sa ating mga mag-aaral sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng educational needs gaya na lamang ng school supplies, tutorial sessions, study tips, at iba pang mga pamamaraan na mas lalong makatutulong sa pag-angat ng ating edukasyon. Dahil hindi hadlang ang pandemya sa magandang kinabukasang naghihintay sa ating mga mag-aaral. Sino-sino nga ba ang mga kalahok sa programang ito? Sa pagtutulungan ng ating school administrators, guro, magulang, at iba pang mga miyembro ng ating komunidad gaya ng barangay officials at sangguniang kabataan ay siguradong magiging mas matagumpay ang programang ito. Paano nga ba ang magiging proseso ng naturang programa? Una, magkakaroon tayo ng isang Facebook group, ang Pampanga High School Nest Education Community Pantry na pangungunahan ng Educational Pantry Coordinator. Ang mga magulang, tagapangalaga at mga guro ay ia-add ng ating Educational Pantry members sa Facebook group na ito. Sa page na ito, maaaring i-post ng mga magulang at tagapangalaga o sino mang miyembro ng Educational Pantry ang kanilang mga kahilingan o requests. Kailangan ding ilagay ang pangalan ng mag-aaral, grade, at section para sa mas agarang aksyon. Oo nga pala, hindi lang requests ang pwedeng i-post. Pwede ring mag-post ang mga nais magbigay ng tulong o mga gustong mag-donate. Sabi nga nila, sharing is caring. Tandaan na ang Facebook group na ito ay pribado at posts na may kaugnayan lamang sa page na ito ang maaaprobahan. Mayroon din palang Google Form na ipamamahagi kung saan maaari nating isumite ang ating requests o kahilingan. Paano naman ang mga walang internet access sa bahay? Huwag mangamba dahil merong mga nakalaang drop boxes ang ating paaralan na kung saan maaaring ihulog ng mga magulang at tagapangalaga ang kanilang requests. Sa mga nais namang mag-donate ng school supplies, maaaring ilagay ang mga ito sa tabi ng drop boxes. Maaari ring mag-donate ng mga kagamitan o cash donation kaakibat ang pagsusumite ng deed of donation form. Pangalawa, mahalaga ang ugnayan ng mga guro at ng mga magulang o tagapangalaga sa programang ito. Gamit ang video calls o chats ay ipahahayag ng mga guro ang adhikain ng programang ito sa mga magulang o tagapangalaga. Maaari ring gawin ang orientation na ito ng face-to-face kasabay ng schedule ng kuhanan ng mga module. Gaya ng nabanggit, hindi lamang mga bagay ang maaaring i-donate. Pwede ring mag-conduct ng tutorial session, study tips, at iba pang mga kagamitan sa pagkatuto gaya ng mga aklat o kaya ay gadgets. Ikatlo, ang requested needs ng ating mga magulang o tagapangalaga ay ililista ng ating Nest focal person. Ang mga coordinator naman ang mag-aayos ng mga ito. Ang advisors ng ating mga mag-aaral, guidance counselor, at iba pang mga guro ay ipaaalam sa ating mga magulang at tagapangalaga ang petsa at oras ng pamimigay ng requested needs na gaganapin sa paaralan. Sabi nga nila, it takes a village to raise a child. Kaya naman aktibo at iba yung pakikilahok ang inaasahan sa pagsasanib puwersa ng paaralan at barangay na siyang tutukoy sa pangangailangan ng bawat Fernandinong mag-aaral at kikilos upang matugunan ito sa tulong at suporta rin ng mga miyembro ng komunidad. Isang malawakang komunidad para sa isang produktibong educational community pantry ay tiyak na lilikha ng iba yung pagkilos upang maging mas magaan at madali ang pagkatuto ng bawat kabataang Fernandino. Kaya naman tandaan, magbigay ayon sa kakayahan, kumuha ayon sa pangangailangan.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back, Fernandino Teens. I'm so glad that you're still here with me. During the third part of our discussion, we learned about percent composition. You were able to compute the percent composition of each element in a compound, and you deserve a job well done. Now, since we are already done with our discussion, I want you to realize the importance of knowing the percent composition in our daily life. What do you think is the important role of percent composition into our lives? Comment down your answers. Wow, those answers are all correct. Percentage composition plays an important role in everyday life. It is used in jewelry to determine the correct percentage of a specific metal in an alloy, a mixture of metals. It is also used to determine the correct number of specific elements in a mixture of concrete, as well as to determine the correct amount of an element or mineral in specific pharmaceuticals. You can use the percentage composition to identify the nutritional values of food products. Moreover, farmers use this concept in choosing the best fertilizers for their farming activities. We are about to end this discussion, but before that, let us check first if we achieved all our learning objectives for today's discussion. So, we were able to, first, understand deeply the concept of formula mass, molecular mass, and molar mass. Second, solve percent composition of each element in a compound. Lastly, recognize the important role of percent composition in our daily life. Saying that, yes, we achieved all our objectives. A job well done, everyone. I enjoyed our discussion today. I hope you too. For the last time, tap your shoulders and say, "You really did a great job today, future Chem Master." Here are the references in this episode. That is all for today's episode. Thank you for actively joining our discussion for today. Again, I am Ma'am Eleanor Deang, reminding you that think like a proton and stay positive in life, not in COVID. Keep safe and God bless.
Bagong umaga, yakapin mo ang bagong pag-asa. Simulan mong abutin ang iyong pangarap na magbibigay dangal sa iyong bukas. Ang suliranin, hindi laging nandyan, dapat mong harapin. Kami iyong kasama sa bawat takin, magkaakbay nating lulutasin. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Ang mga aral ay ginintuang atin ng bawat guro na siyang gagabay sa iyong pagkamulat. Naway umukit ito sa iyong isipan, maging mapanuri, sundin ng wasto